Hello, loves. I hope that you are doing well today. Sending you lots of love and positive energy and good vibes. Today, for the inspirational talk, I asked the universe to guide me in terms of what would be helpful to talk about today. And what came to me was how to uplift yourself from self doubt and negative self talk, right? So, doubt is one of those things that can really get in the way of our success because it can stop us in our tracks. It can alter the direction that we have planned for ourselves. It can get in the way of something that we have seen in our dreams, that we have envisioned for ourselves. And it just creeps in, like they say, like a thief in the night. It kind of snatches all your confidence, right? And I love to look at the history behind words, the meaning, the etymology, the definition of words. And so today, before I do the talk with you, of course, we all know the word doubt. We've heard the word doubt before, but I always like to look at what does it really mean? And one of the definitions that stuck out to me a lot was that it means to lack confidence in or to distrust, right? To distrust. And the word distrust with doubt really stuck out to me because it speaks to a distrust of yourself, right? Of others. And when we don't trust others, there is this automatic inability for us to connect. And the most important thing for all of us to have a strong sense in is that gut feeling. You know how people say, go with your gut, trust your gut. Your gut, your solar plexus is your intuition. And so when you have self-doubt, it's like you're distrusting your intuition. I'm going to say that again. When you have self-doubt, right? Doubt meaning distrust. Self-doubt meaning self-distrust. You are not trusting your own intuition, and your intuition is your compass, is your guide from the universe. And so when you lack confidence in your guide, your inner compass, it can be hard to find clarity in a lot of things, in relationships, in the job that you want, in what healthy boundaries are, what feels good to you, what doesn't feel good. It's hard to figure that out. It's hard to take a next step, or take a risk because you're letting that eat away at you. And within doubt, the word doubt is also an element of negativity, right? When you distrust, there's an element of negativity there because you're not trusting yourself. And I looked at the ancient meaning of doubt is to fear or suspect. And so where that comes from is this element of fear. And when we have an element of fear in anything that we do, it's like the opposite of love. And that's not what we were created for. In my feelings, it's ego comes from Or fear comes from ego. And the ego is part of our minds. And it's the part of our minds that is geared to protect us and to keep us safe. Right? When we were hunter-gatherers and we had to hunt for our food, you needed that ego to guide you, to be able to give you a positive warning, like to run or to fight or to hunt so that you could survive. And so there's that element there, when you feel your adrenaline rush, or when you feel that feeling in your stomach where it goes woo and drops down to your stomach. That's part of that feeling of fear that comes from the ego. And it's a very visceral reaction to things instead of thinking things clearly. Because it's like, should I run? Should I fight? What should I do? But everything in life really is about clarity and about taking a pause and thinking things through and addressing things. So when it comes to self-doubt and negative self-talk, the things that came to me today are name it, face it, and address it. And that's key in trying to uplift yourself or get rid of that feeling of self-doubt or negativity. But how do you do that? What do you do? And I refer to RuPaul all the time because I love RuPaul, but RuPaul once talked about how everyone has this voice of doubt or this voice of negative self-talk. And the important thing to do in being able to really move on from that feeling, to get out of that feeling, to get your head, your brain out of that feeling, is to face it. And you face it by giving it a name, right? Oh, there goes Tina again, talking to me about all this negative nonsense. Girl, be quiet. I'm not here for you today. And it may sound funny or it may sound weird, but when you give names to things, you can start to segment them and separate them. You can give them a place to go because you already know what it is, right? But when we don't address it, it can eat away at us. If we just let the negative self-talk or we let the doubt start to consume us instead of saying, oh, that's doubt again. I know what that is. Or, oh, that's fear again. Or, oh, that's negativity again. That negative Nancy voice in my head. No. I'm not dealing with that today. You can start to change the conversation. You know what I mean? And so in your own life, think about what do you want to call that voice of doubt when it comes into your mind, or that voice of negativity when you want to do something but you hear this, oh, I don't know, I don't think I can, I wouldn't be able to, where am I getting money from, or how am I going to do? What name are you going to give that voice? Because it's very important that you do that. Because once you start hearing those negative thoughts like, oh, I don't know where it's going to come from, be quiet, Tina. I don't have time for you today. We're not doing this today. Or just addressing, you know what? This is a negative thought. I hear it. I feel it. And I'm not attached to it. I'm going to let it go. And that's it. Is this easy? No, it's definitely not easy. Because it requires you to be very self-aware and to reflect on how you're feeling. But when you start addressing it by giving it a name, it can totally alter how you feel. Another thing that I find to be helpful is, in addition to coming up with a name that you use to address that self-doubt or that negative self-talk, so that you can look at it, face it, and, move it to the side. Girl, move to the side. Is coming up with a mindset shift word. And if you have done the 30-day journal writing challenge with me, awesome. This is one of the exercises that I asked you to do. And a mindset shift word is simply a word that you use in order to instantly shift your mindset when you're starting to find yourself in a negative place. And so it looks something like this. Let's say you choose a word that instantly makes you happy, like love. And you're walking down the street and you start looking at the trees and you're like, wow, it's such a beautiful day. And then you keep walking and then you're like, oh, damn, I have to pay these bills and I don't know where the money's going to come from. And then I was supposed to call my mom last night. Why didn't I call her? And you start to feel yourself getting into a negative space. You can verbally, out loud, say love to yourself. Or you can think in your mind, love. And once you say that word, it alters your thoughts to focus on that word. Because you can be really positive or you can be really negative, but you can't be both at the same time. So when you do something like come up with a mindset shift word, or when you address what's going on as it comes up and you give it a name, you can automatically start to shift your feelings to positive feelings. And this is something that you have to get into the habit of practicing. It doesn't work right away. It's something that, might be hard at first because you might say to yourself, love, and you find yourself still going back into a negative place. But the more that you practice, it's like a muscle. The more that you practice, the more that you get used to it, the more that you get in the habit of shifting your mind into a positive space from a negative space, the easier it gets. So, when you're feeling a little uncertain or distrusting of your own feelings, thoughts, ideas, call it something. Address it. Whether you just want to say, oh, there's doubt again, she's coming up. Or you want to say, oh, there's negativity, girl, I'm not talking to you today. Whether you want to have a word when you start feeling the thoughts creep in, oh, love, and focus on love. Or maybe you have a memory that's really funny that you want to use as your mindset shift word. I don't know. Maybe it's a word that reminds you of something like cookies, and you remember a funny time that you spent with someone where you had cookies, but whatever that memory is, it dramatically alters your mood. Because the thing is, we are in control of being able to respond to our emotions as opposed to react to them. We all feel emotions. Trust me, I'm a very emotional person. And something I had to do was I had to learn how, and I'm learning, this is not something that I'm saying, oh, I'm a perfectionist, I'm a pro at this. This is something I work at every single day. But it's like learning tools and tips and resources, like how to respond instead of react, has been instrumental in changing my life. So next time that you find yourself feeling negative, know that A, it happens to all of us. It's normal. It's a normal part. It's the yin and the yang. It's like we have a balance in life, negative and positive energy. But know that there's something you can do about it. Know that you have the power to instantly change how you're feeling. And know that it's okay to take a pause. Sometimes we have to take a pause. And sometimes that means the mindset shift word. Sometimes that means addressing and facing the negative thoughts. And sometimes that means just closing your eyes and focusing on your breath. Because that pause alters your mood too, doesn't it? If we're constantly going, it's hard to really understand what's going on in our heads. And instead, we're just reacting to it. However, when we are more centered and present, we can start to address and face and respond. Respond requires thought and reflection on how we're feeling. Because you want to be able to understand yourself and have a conversation with yourself. You know, you want to be able to hear your inner voice. And you want to be able to trust your own intuition, because that's your guide, that's your inner compass. So you are in control of how you feel. There are so many things that you can do to start to address it, but I encourage you to try those exercises and let me know which one resonates most with you. I send you so much love and positive energy. I hope that you find some gems and jewels in this video. Let me know what stood out to you. And I love you. I'll see you in the next episode, next video. Have a great day. Bye.